His Excellency Andres Manuel Lopez Obrador, President of the United Mexican States, Excellency Marcelo Ebrard Casobong, Secretary of Foreign Affairs of Mexico, Her Excellency Alicia Bárcena, Secretaria Ejecutiva de CELAC, distinguidos jefes de estados y jefes de delegaciones, excelencias, amigos y amigas. I am honored to be here in Mexico City with you on this very special occasion. Please accept sincere apologies on behalf of Prime Minister Gaston Brown, who is unavoidably absent today. I wish to take this opportunity to also thank Mexico for hosting this very important meeting, as well as for the efforts made to assist Caribbean countries in our fight against the coronavirus pandemic. Ladies and gentlemen, the COVID-19 pandemic has inarguably been the greatest crisis of our time. While circumstantial realities may differ country to country, we have all been under tremendous threat, given the challenges and setbacks we have faced on all fronts. Lives and jobs have been lost, and vulnerable groups have been disproportionately affected. As coronavirus cases soar, with no end game in sight, governments have been performing that delicate balancing act between the economy, health considerations, and implementation of social measures. As we seek to respond to a comprehensive crisis, greater resilience and cooperation have become essential in navigating the COVID-19 storm. We need to build greater resilience at the national and regional levels and to intensify cooperation in order to deliver a future for all of our citizens. This CELAC platform offers us a united and unified response to crises. It reminds us that we are connected, inextricably bonded. CELAC has remained resilient as an institution and is actually developing cooperation in innovative new areas during these very turbulent times. Imagine if we had to tackle these multifaceted issues spawned by this pandemic alone. Without fear of contradiction, I assert that none of us, no single country, can address the long-term impacts of the pandemic on our own. We need to support and be seen to support each other. Ladies and gentlemen, Antigua and Barbuda is a regional integration optimist and not a skeptic. We maintain an outward and forward-looking vision. We have an interest, therefore, to stay close to our neighbors. We need partners and friends because we share many common goals and concerns. During the current pandemic, we witnessed the best of South-South cooperation and friendship. Just to name a few examples of cooperation, Venezuela it was that transported vaccines to Antigua and Barbuda and also donated medical supplies to combat the effects of COVID-19. Mexico, our host today, donated ventilators to further strengthen our capacity to meet the needs of coronavirus patients and provided necessary training as well. It was Argentina that donated COVID-19 rapid diagnosis and serological kits. Cuban doctors and nurses and technicians have been on the front lines of the pandemic, working shoulder to shoulder with healthcare workers in Antigua and Barbuda. The Dominican Republic has also committed to donating vaccines at this time. Without the assistance of our regional brothers and sisters, the task of delivering critical services and care to our citizens and to COVID-19 patients would have proven far more challenging. We are incredibly grateful for the generous, brave, and life-saving efforts extended. Excellencies, Amidst all these challenges, we continue to make progress with COVID-19 vaccine rollouts in our respective countries. We must strive to close the vaccine supply gap and make an all-out effort to combat vaccine hesitancy. I wish to take this opportunity to shower praise on Cuba, Mexico, and on Brazil, who are developing their own vaccines and are aiming for vaccine self-sufficiency in our region, and to allow for equitable access. We also commend Mexico and Argentina for regional production and distribution of the AstraZeneca vaccine. As we continue to navigate a world that has been severely disrupted, we must reinvigorate ties between our countries. We must strive to enhance CELAC's profile within the international community and consolidate its role within our own hemisphere. Ladies and gentlemen, this pandemic is a game changer and has created a mood of global uncertainty. As the Director General of the WHO, Dr. Tedros Ghebreyesus, has affirmed, and I quote, "There are no shortcuts. No shortcuts to the new normal." In other words, the task of building back and building back better, including the implementation of the SDGs for post-pandemic recovery, will prove challenging. At this very moment, we are presently focusing efforts on vaccinating, curtailing the spread of the virus and saving lives. However, while it may be difficult for us to envision this now, at some point, the worst of the pandemic will be behind of us. We must now prepare for that day. The COVID-19 pandemic has demonstrated that there is an urgent need to enhance the resilience of our communities, our countries and region against future shocks. We have all been severely impacted. That is why, if we wish to build back better, we must seek to boost resilience. We will not be able to advance economic, social, and environmental sustainability otherwise. We must seek to increase our capacity to deal with shocks and reduce vulnerabilities. The question therefore begs itself: how do we make our region more resilient? And while I do not prefer or pretend to have all the answers, I proffer a strategic goal as a position that the CELAC will adopt as a stronger, more efficient and credible actor on the global stage. This underscores the importance of the reflection process. As a unique and solid platform, CELAC can draw attention to a suite of external challenges that we all face. CELAC cannot advocate for an increase in climate change commitments and the creation of a new multidimensional vulnerability index to enable access to concessional financing. In fact, CELAC is perhaps one of the region's greatest achievements and assets. The grouping provides member states with both stability and opportunities. We must ensure that we use the CELAC platform to our best advantage. Together, we are a region endowed with natural resource wealth and growing sectors in terms of demand, such as tourism. We have the opportunity to aggregate 33 votes in favor of resolutions and decisions that we jointly agree upon. This allows us to wield a considerable amount of preference power in multilateral fora, especially with regard to issues considered vital to the interests of Caribbean and Latin America. With regards to the future, the present global paradigm is shifting due to threats such as the COVID-19 and its variants and climate change. However, these sweeping developments are triggered not only by threats, but also by opportunities, such as digital transformation. Experts have gone as far as to assert that we can expect the near future to be more technology-driven. In this connection, we should seek to encourage a regional space for innovation and startups. I wish to commend initiatives such as the establishment of the Latin American Caribbean Space Agency and look forward to signing the historical convention today. We must also continue to cooperate in areas such as education, disaster, risk reduction, sustainable development, health, trade and investment, and creative industries. We must seek to collaborate on issues such as climate financing, de-risking, and the reform of international financial architecture. We have to ensure that our great region is not left behind. We can build resilience by increasing domestic and regional self-sufficiency through the revitalization of CELAC. Additionally, in the face of socioeconomic concerns due to the pandemic, we urgently need to strengthen local and regional food systems. Food security is of paramount importance to national and regional security. As we know, the pandemic has demonstrated that there is need for investment in sustainable agriculture and agri-processing. Agriculture, therefore, is a key link in the 2030 Sustainable Development Agenda. Due to threats such as price volatility and bottlenecks, we can no longer take food security for granted. But food security is not only about production, it is also about distribution. We should seek to shorten the food supply chains and strive to boost interregional trade. We should also seek to shorten food supply chains and boost interregional trade. In closing, Mr. Chairman, colleagues, this pandemic has demonstrated the importance of building regional resilience and self-sufficiency. To do this right, we must focus on people, communities, and livelihoods. We are more effective in attaining our goals if we work together, leverage our respective strengths, and continue to support each other. As such, CELAC, I venture to add, has a key role to play in the region's road to recovery, as well as our transition to a green and inclusive future. I thank you.
Gracias.